we live? We should be live. Anyone coming in? I'm going to do this video because I know that I'm going to do it on a live, because I just figured with having done... Well, first of all, before we get going, make sure people can actually hear me on this video, because getting started and making sure that I have got some viewers, because I don't want to just come on here, do this video and feel it's like I'm just talking to myself, but technically I am, because hey, that is the idea. Now, hold on, there we go, just come around to it, there we go, it should be, all right, we got some viewers coming in, which is good. We have got some viewers. I can see we've got Shadow Freddy, Brennermania 89. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Well, today I feel like I've been a little bit quiet on all of this with the YouTube stuff. I've not really been jumping in on some of these topics and really getting in on the videos and really my reaction to quite a lot of stuff that's been going on as of late with ticket prices, overall WWE content, All Elite Wrestling content, and generally just my reaction to a lot of this stuff. You know, I've been kind of just not taking a backseat. I've been ripping a lot of vlogs recently. I think, as I mentioned, I've got the Raw vlogs that I'm going to be posting. So they're going to be on their way very, very soon. But, you know, I want to really just kind of give you my thoughts on the Shadow Freddy. Good at EO got betrayed by the... That's just... Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, today I want to really just give you my thoughts on what WWE and TKO have been pumping out for next year's WrestleMania, again, being in Vegas. Now, I'll be real, I'm not going to WrestleMania next year. I am actually taking a break from it. I just feel that the way that the prices are spiraling now is incredibly crazy, to be honest, and from year in and year out... Wait, what's going on, Gav? Gav's in as well. Gav's cool. He's a good dude. I was on his show last week. He's got a good show going on with the rest. One is Gavin Fletcher, Open Wrestling Fan Might Night. I enjoy that show. But like I said, honestly, so in regards, you know, me, you know, I feel like I'm really kind of talk about this because on the basis of I've done 6 WrestleManias, and every single year, you know, the price has creeped up. I mean, I wouldn't really talk so much more about WrestleMania 29 and WrestleMania 30. They were so long ago, and one of those manias was the first mania I ever did with a group of other people, and that was, of course, 29. And, of course, that WrestleMania, everything was a lot cheaper in terms of buying tickets separately. Everything was bought separately, so I was able to really make sure that... back in those days, everything was cheaper. I mean, everything was definitely cheaper. This is like 2013. 2014, again, we did a bronze WrestleMania 30 travel package through the WWE travel package scheme. And again, decent for what it was worth. Of course, in terms of like me and coming back to wrestling, oh wow, we have 24 viewers, amazing. Well, you're all here and I'm sure you all want to know my thoughts. You know, I've always been the guy that's always tried to come on here and support you guys when it comes to booking your trips, and I will always be in that. I've always tried to do the right thing for you guys, but I'll be honest with you, you know, these ticket prices now are starting to get a little bit out of control. They really are. I mean, to just do this trip on a budget now is definitely a lot harder. And look, I've had people say to me like, oh, you know, just wait it out. And yeah, you could do that. But I also know a lot of people that do want to book this stuff ahead, and they want to really have these tickets in their basket at this time of year. You know, they don't want to be sort of feeling like they're almost playing a game of Russian roulette before they can actually proceed to get their tickets. But what you've got to remember is, I think that like the way TKO seals it now, they're really trying to premiumize WWE to a level beyond what ever Vince wanted WWE to be. You know, they want to make this company the most monetized wrestling company out there and really just make as much money as humanly possible, and the fans are paying for that. You know, I mean, last year WrestleMania in Vegas, I went to that show, as you guys know, and I did vlogs. You know, that was crazy to say that probably most likely be my last WrestleMania for a good while now. I mean, I never say never, because, you know, I could have said that after WrestleMania 30, and then I went back 8 years later to 38, and I'll get onto that. So compared to, I mean, WrestleMania 38, of course, 2022, I know that was still under the old WWE travel packages, but again, it's like back in those days, I paid 1900 British for a gold WrestleMania package. Gold, okay? That was around $2,500 at the time. And that package got me hotel. It got me night 1, night 2 of WrestleMania 38. I got Raw ticket included with that, Hall of Fame, SmackDown. I mean, it was a good deal. It was a good deal. Now, this was not an on-location travel package at the time. This was say through WWE internal travel package that was on, was provided. So, and I really look back at that and I really smile because I really got a good deal. And I feel really bad that, so I'm looking on here now. I'm going to get on to my thoughts on location. I know I've mentioned it before, but they always are now another provider that you guys could definitely look at. But looking at these prices, I mean, okay, so 400 level. Okay, I stayed when I did Allegiant Stadium this past year. I actually was in the 400 level. And the 400 level isn't bad. I was in block 443 for WrestleMania 41. Some people don't rate that area. I actually had an okay view. I don't know. It's weird. I think everyone's got their own like preference on where they want to sit. Some people do prefer to sit in lower blocks. But looking at 400 level, it's $854 on this price chart. 300 level, you're going up to $1,174 before your tax, before your Ticketmaster fees. You've got the 200 level, which is $1,303, but $2,174 again. And then we just go higher and higher. Now, these come with nothing. They don't come with any travel package. These don't come with any premium experiences. They don't come with any meet and greets. They don't come with any hotel. They don't come with anything other than your admission, your general admission into Allegiant Stadium for night 1 and night 2. Now, that is really, 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 really just shows you where we have come as wrestling fans and where WWE and also where TKO really are trying to position people now, where they're trying to position the consumer. This just feels like absolute suffocation in terms of being able to really budget to them sort of prices. I mean, I'll be real. I could potentially, if I wanted to go to WrestleMania, yeah, I could probably do it. Would be my circumstance. I could probably go again if I wanted to. And probably do the level 400 or 300 level. Absolutely. But do I want to go? No, I don't. Because I know that the majority of what I'm working around this year would be just going on that trip. And I want to do other things. This is just crazy. But where we are with this is it doesn't even think about like, you can't even like look at almost with WWE World and what that charges, because the price, and you've got meet and greets, and not even meet and greets, but photo ops at WWE World that are going to be a couple of $100 here and there. You put 4 and 5 of them together, you're probably spending what you pay on a WrestleMania ticket for those meet and greets, those autograph tickets, those photo op tickets. There's all that. So definitely, this is definitely not for the average consumer now. And if it is, you've got to sacrifice a lot through the year to make this one work, guys, because this is certainly there's certainly a lot of money on there that you've got to pay out, and it really is. It's crazy. Now let's just have a look at some of the comments. I do want to get to you guys. I don't want to feel like I'm not talking back at you guys. I appreciate you getting in on the conversation. But I will go through what we've got. So Gav, we've got TKO is honestly, I didn't do anything WrestleMania before the one in the UK. Shadow Freddy, TKO wants money. They used the WWE wrestlers, bring back Vince McMahon. Well, yeah, that's it. They're bringing Vince back. It would seem like a lot of people do want Vince back. But at the same time, some of those people that want Vince back are also the same people who hate that Brock's there. So that's double standards, isn't it? But, that's another conversation. Mania won't ever come to the UK now. After a 43 mega bid, I don't see the UK would give 300 million if they, after that, the amount. No, we wouldn't. Triple H lie to the mayor. At least you can match where you was the last year, the difference in the price. Yeah, absolutely. So, like I say, my general experience with WrestleMania 41, I did on location. Now, of course, I can absolutely match these prices with that area. So on location, I spent $1,100 on that experience. That came to about £800. $1,100, that got me 3 days of WWE World. It came with a welcome plaza, well, a welcome meal, or not even, it was like a buffet with a disco. The vlogs are on here, you know the ones I'm talking about. Karrion Kross was at that event, Scarlett, LWO, Carlito, Omos. It was just like there was like dancers, there was some Vegas magicians there. It was just a very much like an open event, open bar, all the beer you'd want. You could take as much beer as you wanted. That was pretty cool. That was a nice little touch that they gave us on the Friday before SmackDown. But I mean, my ticket for Mania was like, as I say, I got all that experience. That was an on-location deal, and that came to $1,100. But I got that because it came with the welcome party. It came with 3 days WWE World plus my WrestleMania 41 Vegas night 1, night 2. You know, in your photos with wrestlers, you got such a winning smile. Wait, thanks, man. A lot of people say I have a very infectious smile, but I do appreciate that. Wrestling's a big passion of mine. I love it. You know, I've always loved wrestling. I've loved wrestling since 1999. And, you know, I'm one of the more older school fans. I'm 33 now, but I've loved wrestling since 99. Can't believe they actually released Cross and Dakota. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Karrion Kross wasn't released. They just didn't renew his contract. And the same with Scarlett. You know, they're free to go and work wherever they want. So that's definitely a thing. The bigger problem I do have as well, I do think that one of the bigger issues I do have with WWE right now, I'll be really honest with you. I don't get into tribalism. I'm not pro AEW. I'm not pro WWE. I appreciate I probably have been posting more AEW content on here as of late, and I have been. But that's again because I was at Forbidden Door, and I feel like that show was absolutely tremendous, and it was good value for what it was. I mean, it was 15 matches. There was got to take a chair home, decent seats. I mean, I look for value when I'm buying stuff. I always look for value. I look at what I'm going to get in that, what I'm paying out. You know, wrestling isn't cheap, but there's different levels of not cheap. There's middleman pricing. There's, you know, you are spending a bit and you think, yeah, that is a little dear, but I don't feel like I've got to like give a kidney for that. I think the problem with WWE is it's like they're now at a point where they are trying to just cater to just only one type of person, rich people, or people that are that passionate that they will spend $2,000, $3,400, $4,000 on this type of thing, and they don't beat. I've seen it on Facebook. I'm not shaming people that do it. I've seen people today with tickets in their cart on like certain groups I'm on, and they're just paying this out, and they've seen the fees. There was some fees. It was like $800 fees, $800 for fees alone for this. It's ridiculous. It is just becoming so like a premiumized corporate entity now than ever before, and it's sad to see. I'm so grateful that I went to the 4 I did on the trot, and all the vlogs are on here. WrestleMania 38, WrestleMania 39, 40, 41. And I feel like WrestleMania 41 was definitely the one trip that was the most expensive, with a lot of things around that. And, you know, 38 was definitely a more reasonable trip. I came off that one feeling like, hey, I'm still good. I don't feel like I've had to really break the bank. And then 39, I will get, by the way, guys, I know a lot of you are commenting on here, and I appreciate it, and I'm going to get to everybody's questions and join your conversation, because I do want to go through, and I'm very grateful that you are all tuned in. So don't think I'm ignoring anybody. I just want to just say a couple of things before I get to the comments, because I will react and reply to everybody on here. But like what I was saying was, so like 38, as I've mentioned, there was a lot included. 39 was part of a bigger trip because I was doing it because I went out for my 30th. So I did enjoy that one. And SoFi was a great stadium to go to. 40, again, was around that last one of the era of affordability. And then I think 41's where it's starting to take that climb. You know, it's took that climb and it's starting to really go up to a price now that is going to price out a lot of people. You know, but and then to go back to what I said, you know, prices do drop, and I want to assure you, if you're thinking of going to Mania, the prices are going to drop. They will drop. They always do. But again, it's more about, I think, the higher these prices are going to keep going up, they're not going to drop as much as you think. So what ends up happening is if you're going to spend X, Y, Z about the money, and then all of a sudden, when you expect that drop to happen, the prices are only going to come down to a certain amount, and you're going to go, wait, that's not as cheap as I wanted it to be. And you end up realizing that there's a bigger fall, there's a bigger shortfall now, because once the price hits a certain amount and they bring that price back down, then you've got to realize it's like, well, actually, wait a minute. If we start dropping the price, are they really going to want to all of a sudden be giving you $500, $400 seats? No, they're not, because all of a sudden you're going to realize the shortfall is going to be a lot higher. It's just business. It's business to them. And the quality of the content of what they're putting out right now, is it worth my while? Nah, I probably wouldn't say it is. I mean, it's just, at the moment, it's just to please the shareholders. It's there to please the networks, and I don't think ESPN are too happy with things at the moment. You know, they're almost going through autopilot mode. They hit SummerSlam. That was the second big show of the year, and now they're kind of like reaching out. They weren't even meant to be doing WrestlePalooza. They put WrestlePalooza on so last minute just to try and counteract AEW, and it bit them on the ass, and it's gone in the wrong direction. It's almost exposed them a little bit. I think it's exposed them. I think this whole counter programming bullshit that they've been trying against AEW is starting to really expose WWE, because it's saying like, hey, if you're going to try and go up against the competition, you've got to really put on something. But if you're going to put on a crappy show that really isn't worth it, you're exposing yourself to a smaller company. You know, they freaking hate AEW. They absolutely hate it. They hate that it exists. I can tell you that firsthand. They absolutely loathe it. I mean, there's reason people that know me on a personal level know that. I know this for a fact. They loathe it because it's competition, and it's somewhere that they know they ain't getting the full amount of money, because people have choices. Customers have choices. Am I saying that AEW is going to set the world on fire? No. But what am I saying is the fact that this company is still around, and they admit that they want to make their product more of a tickets are more fan friendly, and that is their approach. Now, that's good enough for me. You know, everybody I know that goes to AEW is only on certain money, that, you know, and that's fine. You only have a certain disposable income. You know, you've got your own circumstances, but at the end of the day, wrestling should be affordable. It shouldn't be a thing where you feel like you've got to remortgage your house to go to a wrestling show. Like, that's insane. It's insane to me, and it is absolutely crazy. Now, let's get to the comments, because I want to make sure I'm replying to you guys in the comments. So I'm just gonna head on. We've got 16 viewers right now. To everybody that's tuned in, I say a big thank you. We've got 5 likes, so fantastic. We've got a lot of you actually commenting, so let me see who we got, and let's see what we got. So let me go down these comments. There's a few of them. Rest in peace, WWE. Yeah, I knew it was a lie just to big up Raw. Yep, absolutely. We're going back down the house show route, and even the house shows are just, for international, are going to be very expensive. Let me see. What do you think of the lineup for the Love of Wrestling? That is from Best Wrestling, Best_Wrestling_ cameos. I think for the Love of Wrestling, I think the lineup is really, really good. I've never been to For the Love of Wrestling. This is the crazy part. So I've never been to the For Love of Wrestling because I've always been saving my money for WrestleMania. And with the last 4 years of doing these WrestleMania trips on a cycle, it's felt like, anything else, I've almost disregarded it because I've always said, well, put my money into these trips. So I've always been like, I could absolutely give you a exclusive that I'll definitely most likely be at for Love of Wrestling next year. The lineup is good. They've got Carrion and Scarlett. I really want to meet them again. I do always enjoy seeing Carrion and Scarlett. Really good people from all the times I've met them. I would love to meet Eric Bischoff as well. I want to get a better photo with Bischoff because I remember when I met him at New England Fan Fest many years ago, and he had shades on, and it was just like an awkward photo. I don't know why. I think that was just something he got going on that day. But definitely try and get a better photo with Bischoff. There's definitely a few on there that I could absolutely go for. So yeah, no, I will definitely see myself over there for the Love of Wrestling. I can't remember the whole lineup on the top of my head, but from who's there, I think Samoa Joe's there. Is Kurt Angle there? I think Angle's on that one as well, or he might be doing one of the other Comic Cons. But I know lineup is decent, so definitely want to check out. Logan Tron, some new wrestlers are probably going to be released anyway by 1 to 2 years. Oh, absolutely. This was something that I was saying to Gav, who is also in the comments. A lot of the wrestlers that you see on current contracts right now will probably be gone by 2027 if they get released or they just get let go. I'm not seeing the current roster all being at WrestleMania 43. I also think, the crazy part is, I actually think that's what may actually happen. While everybody's outraged that WrestleMania is going to Saudi Arabia, I could really see them doing a 2-year thing with it. And I like they've done with Vegas because they know they could milk Vegas for 2 years. I could really see them milking Saudi for 2 years and Saudi pay them again to come back for 44. I'm just saying it's not out of the ordinary. If they can do a 2-year residency almost in Vegas, I could definitely see them doing Saudi Arabia for 2 years on the trot, which would absolutely upset a lot of people because I know a lot of people despise it being in Saudi Arabia because of how expensive tickets are and everything else that country's got going on is not to everybody's particular tastes. Yeah, crown jewel prices are expensive. This is what comes back to international. Once WWE takes it out of the US, they can charge whatever they want because they're going to an international market. And they think, well, we can charge more because, this is premiumized wrestling. It's premiumized American wrestling. We can put it in any other country and charge whatever we want. WrestlePalooza is a huge scam if the WWE's trying. I'm just reading your comments, guys, so bear with me. Ada Wrestling, what up from Malaysia? Good to have you. I've done 5. Oh wow, I've done all 5. I'd love to go abroad, but too scared to go. Well, it's funny. I have a lot of people who have come on here and said to me that they are scared about traveling alone and they use my videos as their inspiration, or it beats their anxiety. I'll tell you, man, I sometimes get a little anxiety when I travel. It's definitely, I probably put on a very strong, confident demeanor in my videos, but sometimes when I'm traveling, it can be tough. There can be things that can happen, and you can think, damn, am I gonna? Hopefully, I get there okay. And there's all sorts. Life happens. You just gotta take a deep breath and get on with it. It's just one of those. But yeah, like honestly, guys, it's definitely to just discuss the WWE stuff, though. They really need to pull their finger out. If the price, the fact is, the product's not even, the content they're putting out right now is not justifying these prices. It really isn't. And that's the thing that I think puts a very bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. The way WrestleMania 41 ended, don't get me wrong, it was super cool to see John Cena win number 17. But okay, with the way that trashy finish, I then remember going back thinking, damn, was that it? And then I remember like the Raw after Mania wasn't particularly that good either. I know that was like the start of the Vision storyline with Seth and Bron Breakker. But it was just all a bit pants, really. Sorry, I was just looking at my Apple Watch. It was just doing something. We've got another one here. Shadow Freddy. Have you looked at the John Cena prices for London? Oh, for Liverpool. Yeah, they were like 186, I believe. 186. I would have jumped on those if, like I say, the prices, they went up when I was at work. And then when I actually got off work, they were sold out, which I'm not I'm not complaining. You know, I met John Cena many years ago. I met him in a very different environment, so I'm not. That doesn't annoy me that that's sold out, and I'm not missing out because I've met Cena. So that doesn't. It's cool though that anyone who does get to meet him, that is good. Okay, so let me just. While I'm at it, I might as well just quickly go down some of these prices. So we got to level 100 level, $1,495 starting price. Then we go up to section Riser 101 is $2,200. Then we go to section B on the floor within those rows. You're looking at $3,868. And then section A on the floor is $8,998. But of course, that's starting price and does not include fees, does not include tax. And also don't forget your dynamic pricing, because dynamic pricing absolutely will be in full effect for WrestleMania 42 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. And dynamic pricing is a hideous thing that comes in, and it really is insane what they charge. It's almost like, is this bubble going to break, or are we just going to keep having the same people show up? Who's this? We've got a message for review. No, we'll put that in there. That's cool. I have no issue with that. The Church of Super Sampling. I think it's called cunt pricing. When you're British, we just drop the word, that C-bomb word. But yeah, honestly though, the prices are just a little wild. They really are. It's I don't see the prices are never going to go down unless enough people. Unless enough people were to turn around. Honestly, when people say that, oh, enough people are going to turn around and make a stand. We need to make a stand. Well, I got news for you. It's never going to get to that, because there's always going to be a load of rich people that are going to will pay these prices. You know, there's always the rich that are going to just keep paying. We'll always see green shirt guy ringside. You know, we'll always see the beard guy with his little wife. They'll be ringside. There's always going to be the Trinidad flag guy. He's always there. You know, and that's fine. You know, that's what they do. That's what they pay. And I just find it's insane. I really do. It's frustrating because everybody else that just works the average, what we do, we can't even sniff these. Now, don't get me wrong. And I strongly will say these prices will go down. They will go down. This is a launch price, so these prices will drop. When they drop, we'll be nearer to the event. When they drop, it will be a what we got here. So hoping for Radiohead tickets seems unlikely. I missed the 90s want tickets. Oh hell yeah, the 90s was a good time for tickets, you know. It just was. But for everything really, and I think everyone was just cheaper. Honestly, post-COVID is the issue. You know, once post-COVID, post-lockdowns, this is just the result of this. It's not just talking wrestling now, talking like concerts, gigs, and all the rest of it. You know, they think they can just charge more because people want experiences, people want to be entertained, and wrestling now, sadly, is just becoming part of that that machine. But guys, what I'm going to do now for you, because I feel like I've been rambling on enough, I'm going to make this into a little bit of a Q&A live now. So if you guys have got anything you want to ask me in the comments, I'll absolutely start firing out some answers. So if you've got some questions for me, hit them below. We've got 12 viewers on right now while we continue this live. I've been talking about WrestleMania tickets. Ask me anything you want on the wrestling stuff with AEW, WWE, my experiences with the trips. Let me know below, I'll absolutely hit you up, guys. I'm here for a little bit. So if you've got something you want to talk to me about, I'll absolutely fire away. So please go ahead, guys. Just positioning you there. There we go. So we're just waiting on a couple more here to hit up, but the worst feeling towards them tickets to drop this rate by past events was only 2 hours. And that's the big problem, Gav. You know, that is the big problem. The fact is that, you know, if you're coming from overseas and you want to do this, you know, and I will always say this, you know, I've always bought my stuff early. And I've always bought my stuff early because I've always felt that was the right thing to do. Obviously, tickets have dropped and have dropped significantly cheaper. But due to that, it's always been a case of I've waited long and then if people wait long enough, you get a cheaper deal. I mentioned that with Hall of Fame. I waited long enough with the Hall of Fame tickets to see Triple H go in this year. And I remember, oh, by the way, Gav, and I will correct you, you did say on your video that the Hall of Fame was a SmackDown, the Hall of Fame combo. It was not. Hall of Fame was at the Fountain Blue, and SmackDown was over at the T-Mobile Arena. There was a 2-hour gap in the middle, so we actually left SmackDown, and I went back to the hotel, got changed, got quickly freshened up. I was straight back out on the monorail for Vegas, and it took me over to Fountain Blue. But I appreciate that they have done those combo tickets in the past, but I think we're a long way away from Hall of Fame and SmackDown ever being a combo ever again. I don't think they'll ever do that. They made it 2 separate events, and the Fountain Blue will absolutely hold a lot of these shows again this year. What else we got on here? I'm looking at a Sin Cara cosplay for my school Halloween show, but keep finding boot likes. Do you mean bootlegs? I guess you mean bootlegs. From Shadow Freddy. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going out there online, isn't there? Like eBay and probably Temu as well. I would imagine you could probably find a lot of like wrestling bootleggy stuff over there. If you're wanting like official WWE Sin Cara stuff, I would imagine you're going to pay a lot more. But yeah, it's your taste, isn't it? The Church of Super Sampling. I remember watching WrestleMania in the 90s as a kid. Coffin with a million in. I was screaming. 3 at TV. 2 people guess wrong, and they will reveal it was 3 lols. Oh, I remember watching WrestleMania in the 90s. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'd say the 90s was fun for all of that stuff. For the wrestling and just the general experience for fans. And kind of goes back to the whole. What they're charging now is almost like if the product was peak and it was Attitude Era or it was a Ruthless Aggression era or whatever, you could be like, well, these prices you can justify, but now no. It might have only been 100K. Undertaker was there, hence the coffin. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Ultra Zard, I'm an egg. What's going on? Nothing wrong with that. You can be an egg all you want, my guy. It's good to have you. It's it comes down to something that I want to mention while we're on this topic, but just to kind of break down with the wrestling and the experiences, it kind of goes back to shrinkflation. Exactly. But it goes back to shrinkflation. It's incredibly frustrating when people buy something, an experience or a food or whatever. They go for a meal, and then that meal starts to become more expensive, and the portion size goes down. I say this because I work in hospitality. But when something goes down in the size, but they are charging more for it, is full-on inflation. I would say WrestleMania is a very good example of shrinkflation. Good to not scroll another God channel somehow depressing the ref. Okay. I'm trying to go down everybody's comments. Shadow Freddy, my dad grew up watching the British Bulldog. My mum watched the Hitman Heart, and I watch now. She is now released. It's Dakota Kai. I know. Dakota's been released before. I know she got let go in the COVID cut back in like 2021. She got let go, which was a shame because Dakota Kai was a good talent. I'm surprised AEW doesn't look at her. I think they should. What are we all, if anyone's on here watching AEW tomorrow night, what are we all thinking about Tony's what's his important announcement going to be? We've been discussing this, me and Gav have, and I reckon it's either going to be those women tag team titles, or they're announcing they've signed some good wrestlers, or could even be another stadium show. I mean, they could definitely do it. I don't see why that wouldn't happen. We've gone down to 4 viewers, so I think people are starting to sign out of what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be on for too much longer, guys. So if you have got a couple like last questions you want to roll in, let me know. If you wanted the WWE to bring back parts from the eras the WWE has done in the past to bring back to this era to improve what they will be. Oh, well, if you want the WWE to bring back, hold on, I will come to the next question. back from the parts of eras WWE has done in the past. Oh, what would I want them to bring back? I would probably. It's going to sound wild because I actually, it's always funny to say, oh, I just want the Ruthless Aggression era to come back, or I want the Attitude era to come back. I just feel like what I don't want something that's just bringing in something back. I think what we need is we just need something that is fresh, because that's what we want as fans. I'd even be happy to go along and say I'd love the first run of Triple H's takeover era to kind of come back, when he first took over the company pre-TKO. See, I feel that was a fun time because there was a lot of really good stuff on the table. Like 2022, like late 20, even that this time of year, 2022 was solid. There was a lot of really good stuff, and there was definitely some direction over there, and it just felt like there's something to watch here, there's something to get your teeth into. So I would say, you know, a pre-TKO era WWE would be nice. That's all I'm after, really. You know, I don't want to feel like I'm overpaying for stuff anymore. Harish Raj, where you from? I am from the UK, Harish. I hope I pronounced your name right. I beg your pardon if I said it wrong. But yeah, I'm from England originally. Shadow Freddy, Axiom is basically like Sin Cara, but Iron Man mixed with Power Ranger. Yeah, I'll give you that. I like Axiom. He's I really do like Axiom. I like the superhero sort of gimmick that he's got. I think him and Nathan, is it Nathan Fraser? Nathan Fraser, them two together is a really cool team. So yeah, I like Axiom. I think he's a fun wrestler, and he worked a really good match. I'm trying to think who he wrestled at was it the one in Italy? He wrestled a SmackDown in Italy. I'm trying to think who he wrestled. I think it was Randy. I think him and Randy I'm sure it was him and Randy that wrestled. They had a really, really good match in Italy over the spring tour. Dakota Kai, gut feeling she's joining AEW in Australia. Yeah, I'd be good with that. You know, I would be good with a lot of things. Tony's got a really good opportunity. The thing is, WWE are letting some good people go, and they really are. That's the thing. It's like they could let certain wrestlers leave, or you know, there's certain talent. The problem is now WWE is so bloated with good wrestlers on their roster that when they let them go, it's another company's gain. Scarlett and Carrion should absolutely go to AEW. Shotzi should end up in AEW eventually. Katana and Kaden Carter, I would love to see them in AEW if they bring down the women's tag team titles. Dakota Kai, another one. I think there could absolutely be. I appreciate that, you know, not everybody needs to go to AEW, but there definitely should be some fresh ones to go over there just to kind of help them a little bit, because I appreciate a lot of their main players are currently out on the sidelines. Swerve's injured, Kenny's out, Will's recovering from a neck injury, but yeah. And that's the thing. I just want to talk about AEW a little bit. I might as well, since we've been talking WWE for the last almost 40 minutes. I will say this now. I am a lapsed AEW fan, as you know. I was very pro WWE for a lot of years, doing all the WrestleManias I've done, 40 through 38, through the 41. I did AEW Revolution 2020. That is actually a vlog on this channel still from that trip. And then I've done, obviously, I did All In 2023 in London. And then, obviously, Forbidden Door this past summer. I would say now that AEW has improved a lot since 2020. And they really have. They've got better and better. They are definitely feels like they've listened to fans. I mean, even the small things for me, like being at Forbidden Door and going in the shop at Wembley and being able to get a program was cool. Like AEW are now doing programs. I thought that was super cool. It was, I think, like a £20 program. It was £25. It was, but a program. I thought that was really cool. Like little things like that are just, they're just listening. They're giving fans back that stuff that you want, and it's just how it should be. What if WWE went out of business in a different universe? If WWE went out of business, you'd be looking at other companies really stepping up. You know, you'd be looking at AEW, you'd be looking at New Japan. But I also think you'd be looking at somebody else who's got a lot of money starting something. There'd be something else that would be out there that we would be looking at. You know, in terms of a what if scenario, it's like, well, guess what? Before 2019, there was no AEW. And we only really said before 2019, wow, wouldn't it be great if WWE had competition again? Wouldn't it be great if WWE was able to have a rival again, to kick them into the first gear? Well, we have All Elite Wrestling, and I know a lot of people will come on and say, well, they're not that great, you know. I'll tell you now, All Out was a very fun show. And I mentioned this on my 3-minute short I put up yesterday. All Out was a very fun show. It was a lot of fun. The show was stacked top to bottom. I love that show. It was not a bad show. I wasn't bored. I mean, I didn't get to watch it live because with work commitments and sleeping and everything else. But I got through it. It took me about 2 sittings. I got through it, 2 to 3 sittings. I'd watched all of it. But there was a lot of matches, you know, but I don't think that's a bad thing now when I look at it. When I used to moan and say, oh man, AEW is so long. They're like 5-hour shows with 15 matches. Like, oh my God, it's so long. But you know what? I don't think, when you think about what you pay, and especially I will relate this to when I sat at Forbidden Door and there was like 12, 13 matches on that show, plus 0 hour. And I thought about being there for 4 or 5 hours and seeing all that wrestling, seeing all that content live. I was just fulfilled. I thought, well, this is how it should be, you know. You've paid all this money to come to this show, and that's how it should be. We're going back to the comments. We've got one here from G-Boy. Hi, pal. Who's your favorite wrestler? Mine's Roman. If we're talking about WWE right now, I'll always love Cody Rhodes. I think he is just, from seeing his rise, coming back at 38, having the match with Seth that they spoke about on Raw, then 39, not coming up very well against Roman, then the big payoff at 40, was just a really cool trilogy of seeing that. So I'd say Cody's my guy. We've got, thank you very much for the question, G-Boy. Joe Sidey, AEW shows are hands down putting on better PLEs than WWE. Has been since the Mania John Cena hype. You know, I will say now, it goes back to what I said. It's value for me. Everything has to be about value. If I'm spending money on wrestling, I need to look at what it contains. Am I going to be fulfilled? Am I going to be able to leave that venue and go, that was worth it. That was worth the sacrifice. That was worth the trip. Because if I leave and I'm just going, that sucked. I pen all that money out. I'm just going to be like, well, it's not right. But like I say, AEW, you know, they've got a really good opportunity here to really utilize the talent they've got. I'm excited for Dynamite. I really am. It's been a while since I can really come on and say that. I think that I've been more and more leaning towards AEW within the Forbidden Door era from this past August, and I'm now actually checking out the products a bit more regularly. I'm actually trying to make sure I've got time for AEW every week, because the product is definitely worthwhile right now, guys. I'd watch it if I was you. It is not bad at all. Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, she's doing some good stuff, and the match she had with Riho this past All Out was just fantastic. We've got one in here from Meat. Better than paying $30 on ESPN and getting 5 matches and 30-minute ads in between matches. Absolutely. I think that with regards the US, they're getting screwed over massively by WWE right now with this ESPN deal. It's absolutely horrific that a lot of, you know, some of the people that have got ESPN already, and it's not completely on their provider, so they're having to pay again. It's just a frustrating situation, and this is what I mean. This is the fan experience side of WWE that they're completely disregarding. They don't give a shit whether you can watch it. It's more to them about, they got that deal down, they got that money locked in, and that's it. And they're going live with it. Whether the quality or whether any of this crap has been ironed out or flattened out, guess what? They don't care, because for them, they've already got the money. They've got the deal. The deal's in place. ESPN's paid them the shit ton of money out, like the Netflix deal, like like with Saudi Arabia, and that's all they've got now. It's just the money. It's the greens. Now, let's see. Joe Sidey again, coming in strong, Joe. You got on 3 on contributors, so fantastic. Double or Nothing in Glendale, Arizona was my third AEW show, and I was blown away. Energy was amazing, and the crowd was hot, even before ROH dark matches. You know what? Fair. I mean, Double or Nothing, I did check the one out from Arizona this year. I thought it was a good show. That was the one that had the lights out match, I believe. I think didn't Ricochet and Mark Briscoe have an ambulance match, if I remember correctly. I remember that show, good show. In fact, I remember some of the matches straight off and can tell you it was a good one. Let me see. Joe Sidey, WWE will always have my heart, but AEW is gaining my attention. Well, that is interesting. You know, I appreciate, I'm on here with a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you are WWE fans. I'm a WWE fan. I was born with WWE. You know, I've loved wrestling since the age of 6 years old. I'm 33 now. So for me, wrestling is always in my blood. And I'll always enjoy professional wrestling. WWE was always my first love. But I will say now, and I will say this absolutely all the way, that if AEW is coming along and is putting on fun banger shows, and WWE is starting to not, but WWE is putting on crappy shows, like WrestlePalooza, for example, wasn't the greatest to show. They're charging what they want to charge for that live experience to go see it live. Can't really defend that. At the end of the day, you can't defend that. It all comes down to what you are willing to pay. I mean, I looked at World's End, Chicago tickets. For World's End, you can sit third row, camera side, $600? It was like around that $600 mark before your fees. $600. That's about 500, 400 British. I was planning that. I would have gone. I would have gone to Chicago for World's End. Unfortunately, I can't because it's at Christmas and it's going to be hell to get there. But as an example, and to look at AEW potentially doing an international show next year, I'm absolutely open to the idea. I'm not just looking at doing All Elite Wrestling in the summer for All In. I mean, I'll absolutely do that show. I will definitely go to All In at London, Wembley. I will be there this year for it. But I am also heavily thinking about potentially doing an AEW show next year internationally, whether that be in Canada or the US. I don't know what it would be. I'll see what they look and come up with. So yeah, definitely keep my eye out for that one, because I think that there'll be a fun experience to be had and a lot cheaper to price and get a decent holiday out of it as well. But we'll look at that. Shadow Freddy, you guys are really coming in tonight. I was saying I was going to go, but I'm sticking in because you all, you're contributing to the chat, and I appreciate that. The more you guys contribute, the more I'm sticking around. So I appreciate it. We've got 8 likes, 14 viewers right now. So thank you very much to everybody that is tuning in live right now. As I say, I'm here for a conversation. If you do want to chat, it's all about wrestling. We were talking about the tickets in the first part of this video, but I'm just talking general. So let's go. Shadow Freddy. I doubt, what does that say? I think what you're saying is, I don't think I'm going to go to Road to Royal Rumble in Nottingham if the prices are, I'm going to go to Road to Royal Rumble in Nottingham if the prices are not too high. Yeah, absolutely. If the prices are good, yeah, absolutely go. I most likely will go to that show if I feel like I can get a decent ticket. I would 100%, but I would only if I can get a decent ticket. If I feel like the tickets are just extortionate for that, probably won't bother. But I mean, I've skipped house shows before. I have skipped house shows before, and I know I feel bad about it sometimes, but in the current era, you do have to really think with your wallet, and you do have to really think about what you feel is that really worth it. So yeah, what we got going on? We got Chief. What's going on? We got they charging 1K or more for nosebleeds. Yeah, they absolutely are. There they are. They really are. And just to kind of talk a little bit back about the WrestleMania 42 stuff, I was paying for bleeds last year on an on-location silver package. I paid $1,100 for level 400 block 443. I was in the block. My seats were okay. I could still see all the in-ring action. A lot of people didn't like that block. Some people still say on message boards they don't like that block. I thought 400 level was okay, but you say it got me 2 nights of Mania, 3 days of WWE World Priority Pass. I got to skip lines at the WWE Superstore and spend more money if I really wanted to. Also got the welcome party at Grand Prix Plaza with a few superstar appearances and a buffet and an open bar. So all that included wasn't a bad deal and something I could kind of justify, which is why like I say, experiences have to be worth it for you when you're spending that money. And I see here that they're charging that, obviously $854 before your tax, before your fees. That's going to take it way over $1,000. And you're going to be paying for something that's just going to be your seats for both night 1 and night 2. Just seems kind of wild, doesn't it? Joe Sidey, this has been a great chat. It's been a great chat, hasn't it? I've had fun coming on here, actually. I really have had fun with you guys. And yeah, if you are new on here and you found me through algorithm that's magic of YouTube, hey, welcome. And I appreciate you coming in and joining the party, because that's what it's all about. It's about bringing wrestling fans together from all over the world. And I'm based in the UK. I'm based in Nottingham, UK. So I'm pleased that this live was able to do this today. I will try and do more lives. I feel these are definitely a fun one. I'm not going yet. We'll wrap up at an hour, actually. We've still got about 10 more minutes. So just to kind of go back, I just want to make sure I'm getting through everybody's comments. Here we go. Meat. What we got? Meat has said, I still haven't attended an AEW show. Last time I think they was near me was when Tony Storm debuted. Fantastic. So that would have been around 2022, if I can remember correctly. That was when Tony first came in. But that's cool. AEW definitely worth checking out. Their shows are definitely getting better. They seem to be more and more focused on a lot of things, and there's definitely talent. It was like Tony's not just spread around one thing. He's actually he's got other people working with him to put these shows out and make it good. So no, the shows are all definitely breathing. Chief has asked me a question. What we got going on? You think Stephanie versus Rhea main events? Oh, Stephanie Vaquer. For a minute then, as I read that, I read that as Stephanie McMahon. So apologies. But no, Stephanie Vaquer versus Rhea main events Mania. I would say, yeah, I could see that. I think that would be a really good match. I think definitely Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley at Mania would be solid. Yeah, I could definitely see that as being a potential match. I mean, right now, Stephanie is the new Women's World Heavyweight Champion. If they decide to keep, this for now, I would say, it was kind of a weird one with the chase of having her do it this way. It's cool. I feel like at one point I kind of had my money on Vaquer winning the Royal Rumble, but we've gone in this direction. So maybe Rhea could win the Rumble and then challenge Stephanie, depending on how long Vaquer is going to be the champ. But who knows? Chief, we've read that one. I've got a few more you guys on here. Well, we got a few more questions. Alodia, thank you very much, everybody that's tuning in and you put in your comments. I do appreciate all of you. Thanks for the love. If you, like I say, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I've got a lot of vlogs on here from all of my wrestling trips from WrestleMania 29, 30, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 6 WrestleManias, guys. So I do come on here and I like to discuss my experiences and really just talk about my thoughts on the current market for this stuff, because I feel like having spent my money in the past, I can definitely get on topic. What we got here? What Joe Sidey's commented here. What matches do you think will book? What's this? Booker for Mania. Oh, okay. I think one should have been Punk versus Seth in any stipulation, i.e. steel cage. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that'll be a good... They've got to justify... If you're going to have Punk and Seth go at it again and it being at WrestleMania, I think you need definitely some kind of stipulation. I even think Hell in a Cell. I think Hell in a Cell would be justifiable for that sort of feud, because this would not be the first time these two are going to go at it. There's got to be a reason. There's got to be almost a payoff. So even if you keep Punk and Seth away from each other now for the foreseeable future, and then you kind of get them back at it before the road to WrestleMania, absolutely, I think Punk and Seth could be a Hell in a Cell at Mania would be solid, I think. thanks, me. I do appreciate the sub. Shadow Freddy. I mean, maybe think Stephanie, Joe Sidey. Yeah. Oh, Rhonda. You want Rhonda back, do you? That'd be pretty cool. Rhonda, I never had a problem with Rhonda. I know a lot of people wasn't really a fan of her, but I like Rhonda. I think she had a decent block. You know, she had a decent draw on the shows. Shadow Freddy. I'm from UK. I'm close to Nottingham or Birmingham, I think. Oh, that's cool. Fair play. If you ever see me at a show, guys, please do come say what up. I am a very approachable, friendly fan. I always like to come chat with you guys. If I see you at shows, it's always cool. I had somebody the other day recognize me. I was on the bus, which was actually, I was going to work, and somebody said, I watch your YouTube channel, and I was like, hey, what's up? And I fist bumped this kid. It was quite cool. Felt pretty humbled to do that. It was a pretty cool experience. Let me see. Chief, you think the bubble will burst for WWE tickets? Eventually, the fans are going to stop buying. I mean, I'd say they will. I really would. I feel like the glass ceiling's got to break. I mean, that the ceiling's got to eventually just stop breaking. I mean, well, not break. What am I saying? The right analogy. I just feel like that bubble has got to burst. Yeah, and I just feel like fans are just going to say no. I mean, look. Here's my thing, and I'm going to mention this now before I bounce. When I've gone on to buy WrestleMania tickets in the past, I've been in a waiting room for ages on Ticketmaster.com, and I've had probably hundreds and hundreds of people in the waiting room before me. Now today, bearing in mind I wasn't wanting to buy WrestleMania tickets. I wanted to window shop, and I just wanted to go in there and see what all the hype was all about. I wanted to see what was going on, what tickets were there. I went in that waiting room at 4:30 UK time, about 11:30 on the American time. I was in the waiting room for the combo tickets for about 5 seconds. And I got in, and I was in there, and basically I went in, and I was just like, yeah, these are quite expensive. And then obviously, yeah, but the fact that the waiting room was I was in there within seconds, just told me quite a lot that certainly people are being more careful and more cautious about buying their tickets right now, because they know that it's not priority. And if they know that the prices are going to drop, then that's what they're going to do. They're going to wait and buy them nearer the time. I have Liv Morgan winning the Rumble. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a very safe bet. I think Liv should win the Rumble. Bearing in mind, I think they were going to give her a really big push this past summer before she got injured. So I definitely would agree that Liv will 100% be a good pick for winning the Royal Rumble in 2026 in Saudi Arabia, of course. So Saudi have the Rumble this year, don't they? Forget that Saudi's got the Rumble as well. It's not going to be, they've already hosted Elimination Chamber. They had the Elimination Chamber in 2022. So they've had basically, they will have had all three of the first events of the year. Rumble, Chamber and Mania will have done Saudi by 2027. Shadow Freddy, bro, the boot for my cosplay. Sin Cara. Oh crap, 77.94. Jeez, that's cosplay's expensive, huh? So it certainly is, but the passion's there, and once you've got it going, it's cool. Punk and Seth in a street fight could be good. A Las Vegas street fight, huh? That would be pretty cool. It'd be fun. I think a cell match would be definitely cool. Michael Hunt, where are you from? I am from Nottingham, England. Nottingham, UK is where I'm from. But thank you. But yeah, no, it's certainly a lot to think about, certainly a lot to unpack. You know, WWE really, where do we go from here? And it's also really, where do we go in the next few years? Is this, these prices now are horrible, but people are still paying them. And that's the crazy part. People are still paying them, and people still want to pay them. And they're trying to tell themselves, well, I'll pay this because it's once in a lifetime. But then they'll go and they'll enjoy it, and they'll think, oh, I want to go again, and then I'll want to make it again, and it's twice in a lifetime, 3 times, etc. I'm just grateful I did six WrestleManias, and that is a nice number to round up on for now and bow out of that sort of cycle of doing those, because they're just at a point now where, unless I really want to just wait the long game and buy my tickets next year, they are expensive, very expensive, and they're only going to get higher. They're only going to get higher in price. There's never going to be a down. I don't think these prices will drop. They're not going to drop these prices in goodwill for the fans who want to go. They're just not going to do that. To them, it's business, and it's TKO that's pulling the strings with this. So it is what it is. But as I say, we are on an hour. I've been on here an hour, guys. An hour, 60 minutes. I feel incredible. We've done an hour. I feel it's incredible. A huge thank you to everybody that has tuned in to this live, this discussion. Thank you very much to everybody out there. You are all amazing for commenting, getting in the discussion on professional wrestling with TKO prices, WrestleMania, AEW, WWE, WrestlePalooza. I've tried to cover it on this one. I'll absolutely do another one of these lives in the future. So if you are absolutely wanting me to come back and do lives, I will. I have got vlogs coming. I did mention this. I will be doing the Monday Night Raw Birmingham vlogs. I know I sound like a broken record when I say that, and I haven't posted them. I do feel bad, but I'll be really honest with you. What it comes down to is editing, and with my phone, it sometimes doesn't always want to put these videos out if they're a certain length, so I have to really go through the footage to really, and I've just got to sit down and do that, and that's really what it comes down to. But they're on the way. They're on my phone, all the clips and everything. So look out for them. I have got a global AEW shop unboxing that I'll be posting as well at some point. I did get some shirts during All Out weekend, so look out for that. If you guys got any videos you'd like me to do in the future, keep me comment on this one, because you know I'll still see some comments after this goes off the air. But that is all. I want to answer this one last one. We've got, I think, bad to. Oh, we got a couple more people commenting. That's cool. I think bad to Kyrie, Oscar shouting her name in the drama between. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, but there's story there, you know. I think that Kyrie is they're selling Kyrie well with that. I think it's really going to help build Kyrie up. Michael Hunt, my favorite game on the PS2 were WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It, WWF SmackDown, Shoot 'Em Out. Absolutely, two of my favorite golden age video games in that era. Still fun to this day. They age pretty well. Can't forget Here Comes the Pain as well. That was a really fun one as well for the PS2. But on that note, everybody, as I say, if you're brand new, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for the discussion tonight. It has been a pleasure. I am going to wrap up now, as I say, but thanks again, everybody. And if you are going to WrestleMania next year, hey, more power to you. But I'm giving this one a break. But it's been good, guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to I've got to end the live, or I would. Oh, there we go. I'm still on, folks. Just bear with me. I haven't done like a. Oh, there we go. How do I come off this thing? How do I come off this thing? Oh, there we go. I am wrapping up, folks. I'm not just trying to. Oh, there we go. I'm stopping. So, guys, thanks so much to everybody. We'll see you next time for all things professional wrestling.